Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So the sex trafficking investigation into Matt Gaetz and other Florida politicians now may be coming to a conclusion. Gaetz could be indicted within the next few weeks. That's what sources are telling ABC News. They say that he could actually face charges in July, so just a few weeks from now. And that they're saying that after his buddy, Joel Greenberg, signed his formal cooperation agreement, there was a fresh round of target letters and subpoenas that were issued. And then as a result, prosecutors have apparently been interviewing more women involved in this whole thing who Greenberg allegedly introduced to Gaetz. They're also focusing on companies who benefited from Greenberg's corruption, his waste of taxpayer dollars. In all, they say that he wasted an estimated over $1.5 million in taxpayer money. And remember, he wasn't in office that long. Like, he literally just took office in 2017, and he's already blown through that much money that was not to help taxpayers. It wasn't like he was spending money to help them. This was literally for some unknown reason, or at least unknown to us at this point. One company that these investigators are looking into is KI Consulting. So they've reached out to the owner, which is a man named Keith Ingersoll. And I should say he owned the company, because the company was just initiated. It was literally just incorporated in February of 2017, not that long ago, and it's already been dissolved. Because according to the corporate database that I looked at, the corporation went into inactive status as of last summer, so summer of 2020. Is it a coincidence that this corporation was formed and popped up right after Greenberg took office, right after Trump took office too, and then all of a sudden it went dark right about the time he was indicted? Yeah, sure, that's a coincidence. So here's why they're looking at this defunct company. Ingersoll's company received a $48,000 contract with the county tax office for seemingly nothing. Basically, the audit found that there was no evidence of work. And they spoke with the employees at the tax office, and they said they had no idea what this KI Consulting company was doing or supposed to be doing. Now, in addition, on top of Gaetz, prosecutors appear to be pretty focused on Joe Ellicott. You may recall that I talked about him. They refer to him as Big Joe Ellicott. I talked about him in a previous show. He was a good friend of Joel Greenberg's. He was actually one of his groomsmen at his wedding, and they did a sports cast of some sort here on YouTube with each other. So recently, subpoenas called him out. They named him specifically along with other people. And they also said that the feds are investigating alleged crimes, quote, involving commercial sex acts with adult and minor women, as well as obstruction of justice. And an encrypted message was sent through Signal. This was cited in the new reporting about Greenberg and Gaetz's case. However, you've heard this before. So Ellicott allegedly messaged Greenberg in August of 2020, and he said that there's a woman who they both knew, they both had in common, and apparently she was concerned about being implicated in all of this. But more specifically, she was concerned about being implicated in the sex trafficking of a minor. So Ellicott wrote to Greenberg, quote, she is scared because she knew blank, which they're not releasing this woman's name because she was a minor when the sex act or multiple sex acts took place, when she was victimized, and so they don't want to release her name. So it goes on to say she's scared because she knew blank was underage the whole time, had sex with her, and they both went to see other guys they had met together. So she's got some liability, it sounds like. So she's got maybe an incentive to cooperate. Now, like I said, that's something I previously shared with you guys, that message. What's new, though, is that now there's a Snapchat message that came up. There was a Snapchat message that this Ellicott guy sent to this same female, this mutual friend that he had with Greenberg. And Ellicott was encouraging her to obstruct the investigation. So at the time when all this was going on, the feds were trying to reach the young woman who was 17 when they allegedly had sex with her, the young woman at the center of all this. So the woman who was Snapchatting with, he sent her a message and he told her she needs to delay them, hold them off, and just not answer them. So he's instructing this young woman who was allegedly 17 when they all had sex with her and then paid her for sexual favors. He's trying to obstruct justice by encouraging her, by telling her, don't cooperate, blow them off, just hold them off. I don't know what he thought was going to happen with that. I mean, she couldn't hold them off forever. And they could get her because she was trading sex for money. And even though it started, it sounds like when she was a minor, it continued on into when she was an adult. So she had some liability there as well. So Ellicott allegedly then sent another message saying that he was going to go see her. He was going to pay her a visit, meaning the young woman they all had sex with when she was a minor. And he told this mutual friend, quote, "I'm heading over there now. The lady isn't doing her any favors. She drove all the way to cause trouble for her." So the lady he was referring to in that Snapchat was the officer who reached out to this young woman in question. And according to this report, even though the Snapchat messages typically disappear after a short period of time, someone apparently had the forethought to take a photo of the messages with another phone before it deleted. So these guys are screwed. I mean, if there's all this written evidence of not only the fact that they were having sex with women for money, which is a crime, regardless of what you think of that, then the fact that they were having sex with an underage girl, a teenager, who apparently once she turned 18, they were like, oh, okay, well, great. Now she's of age. We can have sex with her even more. Perfect. Remember, these are 30-something-year-old men. Seriously? But here's my question, or at least one of them. Why are all these people using encrypted messaging apps and apps with messages that disappear? Why is that their preferred communication method? These people clearly had something to hide. I mean, these types of apps were made for people who don't want to leave any evidence lying around. These apps are for people who are having affairs or planning illegal activity or things that they know are wrong, saying things that they know are wrong, or teenagers who want to hide everything from their parents. It's very telling that that's their preferred method of communication. And given all of this evidence, given all of this purported written evidence that we now have and see, either little Matty G with the giant head has an ace in the hole. You know, either he's got like a pardon from Trump, a pocket pardon that he's holding on to, or he's bluffing. Or he's bluffing about how secure and safe he feels, which is possible. I mean, for years, he obviously BS'd everyone into believing that he was having sex with hot young girls without paying them, that they just wanted to have sex with him. We all know that's a complete lie. right? They wouldn't have touched him with not only a 10-foot pole, but even if they were wearing rubber gloves, and even if he had a bag over his head or they had beer goggles on, they wouldn't have had sex with him without being paid. We know that now. Just a fact, obviously. Allegedly. So, and the other thing we know for sure is that his ex-BFF, this Greenberg guy, is scheduled to be sentenced in August. So that likely means that his usefulness is coming to an end. It typically means investigators have gotten everything that they need from a cooperating witness, and so they're ready to go before the judge and tell them how helpful they were or weren't, and then send them off to serve their time. So this means July could be a very fun month. It could mean that while we're all celebrating our country's freedom and independence, Gaetz could be losing his. Think about that. Ooh, ooh. Yeah, I'm excited. I will let you guys know, of course, when I hear more, because you know there is more coming. This is not an if, there is more coming. Whether he does have this pocket pardon and he gets to walk, or whether they actually indict him, there's going to be more news. So I will let you guys know as soon as I hear anything. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Take care, and I'll talk with you soon.